001. Latin.
E causa ignota.
Translation, of unknown cause. Notes, often used in medicine and the underlying disease causing a symptom is not known. See also idiopathic.
注：常用于医学上当引起症状的潜在疾病未知之时。另见 idiopathic。
002. Latin.
E pluribus unum.
Translation, out of many, one. Notes, the former national motto of the United States, which, in God we trust, later replaced, therefore, it is still inscribed on many U.S. coins and on the United States Capitol. Also the motto of SL Benfica. Less commonly written as ex pluribus unum.
注：美国早先的国家格言1956年以前，后来被 In God We Trust 取代，因此它仍然刻在美国很多硬币和国会大厦之上，也是里斯本与本菲卡体育俱乐部的队训，偶尔写作 ex pluribus unum。
003. Latin.
Ecce ancilla domini.
Translation, behold the handmaiden of the Lord. Notes, from Luke chapter 1 line 38 in the Vulgate Bible. Name of an oil painting by Dante Gabriel Rossetti.
注：出自圣经拉丁通俗译本中路加福音第1章第38行，但丁加布里埃尔罗塞蒂的一幅油画名称。
004. Latin.
Ecce homo.
Translation, behold the man. Notes, from the Gospel of John in the Vulgate chapter 19 line 5, where Pontius Pilate speaks these words as he presents Christ, crowned with thorns, to the crowd. It is also the title of Nietzsche's autobiography and of the theme music by Howard Goodall for the ITV comedy Mr. Bean, in which the full sung lyric is ecce homo que est faba, behold the man who is a bean.
注：出自圣经拉丁通俗译本中约翰福音第19章第5行，当本丢比拉多在向人群介绍戴荆棘冠冕的基督时所说，也是尼采自传的标题和霍华德·古道尔为 ITV 喜剧憨豆先生创作的主题音乐的标题，其中完整的歌词是 ecce homo que est faba, behold the man who is a bean。
005. Latin.
Ecce panis angelorum.
Translation, behold the bread of angels. Notes, from the Catholic hymn Laude Schaun, occasionally inscribed near the altar of Catholic churches, it refers to the Eucharist, the bread of heaven, the body of Christ. See also, panis angelicus.
注：来自天主教赞美诗 Laude Schaun， 偶尔刻在天主教教堂的祭坛附近，它指的是圣餐礼，天上的粮，基督的身体。另见 panis angelicus。
006. Latin.
Editio princeps.
Translation, first edition. Notes, the first published edition of a work.
注：一个作品的第一个出版版本。
007. Latin.
Ejusdem generis.
Translation, of the same kinds, class, or nature. Notes, from the canons of statutory interpretation in law. When more general descriptors follow a list of many specific descriptors, the otherwise wide meaning of the general descriptors is interpreted as restricted to the same class, if any, of the preceding specific descriptors.
注：出自于法律的法定解释规范。当更一般的描述符跟在许多特定描述符的列表之后时，一般描述符的其他广泛含义被解释为仅限于前面的特定描述符的同一类，如果有的话。
008. Latin.
Ego te absolvo.
Translation, I absolve you. Notes, part of the formula of Catholic sacramental absolution, that is, spoken by a priest as part of the sacrament of penance, Catholic Church, see also absolvo.
注：天主教圣礼赦免规则的一部分，即由神父作为天主教会忏悔圣事的一部分发言，另见 absolvo。
009. Latin.
Ego te provoco.
Translation, I challenge you. Notes, used as a challenge, I dare you. Can also be written as
Te provoco.
注：用作挑战，我敢说。也可写作
Te provoco.
010. Latin.
Eheu fugaces labuntur anni.
Translation, alas, the fleeting years slip by. Notes, from Horace's Odes, Book 2, Ode 14.
注：出自赫拉斯的颂歌集第2卷第14篇。
011. Latin.
Eluceat omnibus lux.
Translation, let the light shine out from all. Notes, the motto of Sidwell Friends School. 012. Latin.
Emeritus.
Translation, veteran. Notes, retired from office. Often used to denote an office held at the time of one's retirement, as an honorary title, for example, Professor Emeritus and Provost Emeritus. Inclusion in one's title does not necessarily denote that the honoran is inactive in the pertinent office.
注：辞去职务，通常用于表示退休时担任的职务，作为荣誉头衔，例如名誉教授和名誉教务长。包含在一个人的头衔中，并不一定表示被授予荣誉学位者在相关职位上离职。
013. Latin.
Emollit mores nec sinit esse feros.
Translation, a faithful study of the liberal arts humanizes character and permits it not to be cruel. Notes, from Ovid, Epistulae ex Ponto Book 2. Motto of University of South Carolina.
注：出自奥维德 Epistulae ex Ponto 第2卷，南卡罗来纳大学的校训。
014. Latin.
Ens causa sui.
Translation, existing because of oneself. Notes, or, being one's own cause. Traditionally, a being that owes its existence to no other being, hence God or a supreme being, see also prima mobile.
注：或 being one's own cause。传统上，一个不仰仗于其他存在的存在，即上帝或至高无上的存在，另见 prima mobile。
015. Latin.
Ense petit placidam sub libertate quietem.
Translation, by the sword she seeks a serene repose under liberty. Notes, motto of the U.S. state of Massachusetts, adopted in 1775.
注：美国马萨诸塞州的标语，于1775年通过。
016. Latin.
Entia non sant multiplicanda praeter necessitatem.
Translation, entities must not be multiplied beyond necessity. Notes, Occam's razor or law of parsimony, arguments which do not introduce extraneous variables are to be preferred in logical argumentation.
注：奥卡姆剃刀或简约法则，在逻辑论证中优先考虑不引入无关变量的论据。
017. Latin.
Entitas ipsa involvit aptitudinem ad extorquendum certum assensum.
Translation, reality involves a power to compel certain assent. Notes, a phrase used in modern Western philosophy on the nature of truth.
注：现代西方哲学中关于真理本质的一个短语。
018. Latin.
Eo ipso.
Translation, by that very act. Notes, technical term in philosophy and law. Similar to ipso facto. Example, the fact that I am does not eo ipso mean that I think. From the Latin ablative form of id ipsum, that thing itself.
注：哲学和法律中的专有术语，类似于 ipso facto。示例 ：The fact that I am does not eo ipso mean that I think， 来自 id ipsum that thing itself 的拉丁语离格形式。
019. Latin.
Eo nomine.
Translation, by that name. 020. Latin.
Equo ne credite.
Translation, do not trust the horse. Notes, from Virgil, Aeneid, Book 2 line 48, a reference to the Trojan horse.
注：出自维吉尔的《埃涅阿斯纪》第2卷第48行，指特洛伊木马。
021. Latin.
Erga omnes.
Translation, in relation to everyone. Notes, used in law, especially international law, to denote a kind of universal obligation.
注，用于法律，尤其是国际法，表示一种普遍义务。
022. Latin.
Ergo.
Translation, therefore. Notes, denotes a logical conclusion, see also cogito, ergo sum.
注，表示一个合乎逻辑的结论，另见 cogito ergo sum。
023. Latin.
Errare humanum est.
Translation, to err is human. Notes, sometimes attributed to Seneca the Younger, but not attested, errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum, e tertia non dater, to err is human, to persist, in committing such errors, is of the devil, and the third possibility is not given.
注，有时被认为出自于塞内卡，但未经证实。
Errare humanum est, perseverare autem diabolicum, et tertia non datur.
犯错是人之常情，坚持犯下类似的错误是魔鬼，没有第三种可能性。
Several authors contemplated the idea before Seneca, Livy, venia dignus error is humanus, and Cicero, is quius vis errare, incipientis nullius nisi, in error perseverare, anyone can err, but only the fool persists in his fault. Cicero, being well versed in ancient Greek, may well have been alluding to Euripides' play Hippolytus some 4 centuries earlier.
几位作家在塞内卡之前就有过这种思考，李维 venia dignus error is humanus 和西塞罗 is quius vis errare, incipientis nullius nisi, in error perseverare 任何人都可能犯错，但只有傻瓜坚持犯错。西塞罗精通古希腊语，很可能在暗指大约4个世纪前欧里庇得斯的戏剧《希波吕托斯》。
300 years later St. Augustine of Hippo recycled the idea in his sermons, 164:14, humanum fiut errare, diabolicum est per animositatem in error menere. The phrase gained currency in the English language after Alexander Pope's an essay on criticism of 1711, to err is human, to forgive, divine.
300年后，希波的奥古斯丁重新利用了这个想法 humanum fiut errare, diabolicum est, per animositatem in error menere， 在亚历山大波普于1711年发表了
An essay on criticism.
之后，这句话在英语世界中流行起来，人皆有错，难能宽恕。
024. Latin.
Erratum.
Translation, error. Notes, that is, mistake. Lists of errors in a previous edition of a work are often marked with the plural errata.
注，即错误。以前版本的作品中的错误列表通常标有其复数形式 errata 刊物表。
025. Latin.
Errantis voluntas nulla est.
Translation, the will of a mistaken party is void. Notes, Roman legal principle formulated by Pomponius in the digest of the Corpus Juris Civilis, stating that legal actions undertaken by man under the influence of error are invalid.
注 Pomponius 在扎士丁尼法典的学说汇纂中提出的罗马法律原则，指出人在错误影响下采取的法律行为是无效的。
026. Latin.
Eruditio et religio.
Translation, scholarship and duty. Notes, motto of Duke University, Durham, North Carolina.
注北卡罗来纳州达勒姆的杜克大学校训。
027. Latin.
Esse est percipi.
Translation, to be is to be perceived. Notes, motto of George Berkeley for his subjective idealist philosophical position that nothing exists independently of its perception by a mind except minds themselves.
注乔治百克莱的座右铭是因为他的主观唯心主义哲学立场，即除了思想本身之外，没有任何事物独立于思想的感知而存在。
028. Latin.
Esse quam videri.
Translation, to be, rather than to seem. Notes, truly being a thing, rather than merely seeming to be a thing. The motto of many institutions. From Cicero, De Amicitia, on Friendship, chapter 26. Prior to Cicero, Sallust used the phrase in Bellum Catiline, writing that Cato esse quam viteri bonus maelbat, preferred to be good, rather than to seem so.
注：不要华而不实。许多机构的标语，出自西塞罗的 De Amicitia 论友谊第26章。在西塞罗之前，撒路斯提乌斯在 Bellum Catiline 中使用了这句话，描写老家徒。
Esse quam videri bonus malebat.
真心向善而非伪善。
Earlier still, Aeschylus used a similar phrase in 7 against Thebes, line 592, ou guard Docian Aristos, all deny the lay, he wishes not to seem the best, but to be the best.
更早的时候，埃斯库罗斯在七将攻敌比斯第592行中使用了类似的短语。
O guard Docian Aristos, allenaite lei.
他希望不是看起来最好，而要实际上最好。
029. Latin.
Est modus in rebus.
Translation, there is measure in things. Notes, there is a middle or mean in things, there is a middle way or position. From Horace, Satires Book 1 Satire 1 line 106, see also, Golden Mean, Philosophy.
注：万事万物皆有其中，出自赫拉斯的讽刺诗集第1卷第1坛第106行，另见中庸之道哲学。
030. Latin.
Esto perpetua.
Translation, may it be perpetual. Notes, said of Venice, Italy, by the Venetian historian Fra Paolo Serpi shortly before his death. Motto of the U.S. state of Idaho, adopted in 1867, of Sigma Phi Society.
注：威尼斯历史学家 Fra Paolo Serpi 在他去世前不久就意大利威尼斯所说，美国爱达荷州的标语于1867年通过 Sigma Phi Society 的标语。
031. Latin.
Esto quodes.
Translation, be what you are. Notes, motto of Wells Cathedral School. 032. Latin.
Et adux sub judicelis est.
Translation, it is still before the court. Notes, from Horace, Ars Poetica, the art of poetry.
注：出自赫拉斯的诗意。
033. Latin.
Et alibi.
Translation, and elsewhere. Notes, a less common variant on etc., and the rest, used at the end of a list of locations to denote unenumerated or omitted ones.
注：
etc.
and the rest 的一个不太常见的变体，在位置列表的末尾使用，以表示未枚举的或已省略了的位置。
034. Latin.
Et alii.
Translation, and others. Notes, used similarly to etc., and the rest, to denote names that, usually for the sake of space, are unenumerated or omitted. Alii is masculine, and therefore it can be used to refer to men, or groups of men and women. The feminine et alii is proper when the others are all female, but as with many loan words, interlingual use, such as in reference lists, is often invariable.
注：与
etc.
and the rest 类似，用于表示未列举或省略的名称，通常为了节约空间。
alii.
是阳性化的，因此可以用它来指代男性或男女混合群体。当 others 都是女性时
Et aliae.
是恰当的，但与许多外来词一样，快语种使用时，例如在参考列表中无需考虑阴阳性。
Italia.
Is neuter plural and thus in Latin text is properly used only for inanimate, genderless objects, but some use it as a gender-neutral alternative. APA style uses it all, normal font, if the work cited was written by more than 6 authors. MLA style uses it all for more than 3 authors. AMA style lists all authors if less than or equal to 6, and 3 plus it all if a 6.
Italia.
是中性复数，因此在拉丁文本中仅适用于无生命、 无性别的对象，但有些人将其用作中性替代。在 APA 格式中，如果引用的作品是由6位以上的作者撰写的，使用 ETL 正常字体；在 MLA 格式中，如果超过3名作者，使用 ETL；在 AMA 格式中，如果所有作者的总数小于等于6，列出所有作者；如果大于6，则使用3加 ETL。
AMA style forgoes the period, because it forgoes the period on abbreviations generally, and it forgoes the italic, as it does with other loanwords naturalized into scientific English. Many journals that follow AMA style do likewise.
AMA 格式放弃了句号，因为它通常放弃缩写的句号，并且它放弃了斜体，就像其他吸收为科学英语的外来词一样。许多遵循 AMA 格式的期刊也是如此。
035. Latin.
Etc.
Translation, and the rest. Notes, in modern usage, used to mean, and so on, or, and more. 036. Latin.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Translation, and with your spirit. Notes, a response in the Dominus Vobiscum, the Lord be with you, element of the Catholic Mass.
注：对天主教弥撒中的 Dominus Vobiscum 主与你同在元素的回应。
037. Latin.
Et facere et pati fortia Romanum est.
Translation, acting and suffering bravely is the attribute of a Roman. Notes, the words of Gaius Mucius Scaevola when Lars Porsena captured him.
注： Gaius Mucius Scaevola 在拉斯波西纳抓住他时说的话。
038. Latin.
Et facta est lux.
Translation, and light came to be or was made. Notes, from Genesis, chapter 1 line 3, and there was light. Motto of Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. See also fiat lux.
注：出自创世纪第1章第3行，就有了光。美国乔治亚州亚特兰大的莫尔豪斯学院的校训。另见 fiat lux。
039. Latin.
Et hoc genus omne.
Translation, and all that sort of thing. Notes, abbreviated as ehgo or ego. 040. Latin.
Et in Arcadia ego.
Translation, and in Arcadia am I. Notes, in other words, I too am in Arcadia. The I of the phrase could be interpreted as referring to death or the occupant of the tomb, suggesting that even in the blissful utopia of Arcadia, death still exists. See also memento mori.
注：也就是 I too am in Arcadia。该短语的 I 可以解释为指代死亡或坟墓的占有者，这表明即使在阿卡迪亚的幸福乌托邦中，死亡仍然存在。另见 memento mori。
041. Latin.
Et lux in tenebris lucet.
Translation, and light shines in the darkness. Notes, see also lux in tenebris. Motto of the Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú. 042. Latin.
Et nunc, reges, intelligite, erudimini, qui judicatis terram.
Translation, and now, O ye kings, understand, receive instruction, you that judge the earth. Notes, from the Book of Psalms, Book 2 line 10. Vulgate.
注：出自拉丁通俗译本诗篇第2篇第10行。
043. Latin.
Et passim.
Translation, and throughout. Notes, used in citations after a page number to indicate that there is further information in other locations in the cited resource. See also passim.
注：用在页码后的引文中，表示在所引用资源出处的其他位置还有更多信息。另见 passim。
044. Latin.
Et sequentes.
Translation, and the following. Notes, also et sequentia, and the following things, neutral, abbreviations, e sequentia, et seq, or sqq. Commonly used in legal citations to refer to statutes that comprise several sequential sections of a code of statutes.
注还有
et sequentia,
and the following things 中性，常用于法律引文中，指包含法规的几个连续部分的法规。
045. Latin.
et suppositio nil ponit in esse.
Translation, and a supposition puts nothing in being. Notes, more usually translated as saying it don't make it so. 046. Latin.
Et tu, Brute.
Translation, and you, Brutus. Notes, indicates betrayal by an intimate associate. From William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, based on the traditional dying words of Julius Caesar. However, these were almost certainly not Caesar's true last words.
注表示被亲密伙伴背叛，出自威廉莎士比亚的凯撒大帝，基于传统上朱利叶斯凯撒的临终遗言。然而，这几乎肯定不是凯撒真正的遗言。
047. Latin.
et uxor,
Translation, and wife. Notes, a legal term.
注一个法律术语。
048. Latin.
et vir,
Translation, and husband. Notes, a legal term.
注一个法律术语。
049. Latin.
etiam si omnes, ego non.
Translation, even if all others, I will never. Notes, St. Peter to Jesus Christ, from the Vulgate, Gospel of Matthew chapter 26 line 33, New King James Version, Matthew chapter 26 line 33.
注圣彼得对耶稣基督所说，出自拉丁通俗译本马太福音第26章第33行，新詹姆斯王译本马太福音第26章第33行。
050. Latin.
et si des non daretur.
Translation, even when God were assumed not to exist. Notes, this sentence synthesizes a famous concept of Hugo Grotius.
注这句话综合了胡果格老秀斯的一个著名概念。